Hey, it's Vicky back with another alcohol ink painting. So with this one, I started with some yellows and some different purples and just threw them on the paper with some isopropyl alcohol. And this is my little squeezy thing that you see me using there. And then I have this little stamper thing that you can get different textures with. So I do a little stamper, I do a little squeezy. And then I also have, you'll see there, I'm using a heated blow tool thing, like a blow dryer kind of thing. So that's what I do. When I got done with this one, I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like so snowy. It felt very snowy and wintry to me. So that's how I decided what animal this would be because it spoke to me and said it's wintry and what could it be? So I had done a polar bear before, so I didn't want to do an adult polar bear, but I thought a little polar bear cub peeking out over this little snowy mountain would be so cute. So that's what I started to do. So I kind of get a little outline on there and then I use Q-tips with alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and kind of block out the shape. So you can see I'm taking away some of that ink with the Q-tips. And then I take a paintbrush with more alcohol and I move those inks around with that paintbrush. And then I'm also adding ink with alcohol ink markers. So I use a lot of alcohol ink markers to add ink after I've done the background because the alcohol ink that comes in the bottles that I use for the background, it's so runny that it's really, really hard to control. So with the alcohol ink markers, then it makes it a lot easier to control where that ink goes. But you do have to have a light hand with, when you're using the isopropyl alcohol on the paintbrush because, one little dot and it can spread everywhere. And you do not want it to spread to that background because you don't want to mess up your background. You can't really fix that. So it's really important to have control over how much alcohol you are putting on your brush and on your Q-tip. Also, you'll see, you just saw that I have a guide that shows me that I made that shows me all the different colors of markers that I have. That's important to be able to look at and see which colors you want. Now, I always like to use the same colors that are in my background in my animals. And so I use that guide to kind of gauge what colors I'm going to be putting in there. And that creates unity within your painting, one of the principles of design, unity. But it really is important. I don't know, maybe it's not important. That's just what I do. There's really no rules to art. I mean, there are guidelines and there's rules. You learn the rules, you learn the elements of art, the principle of design, in art school. I learned all that stuff and thought those were the rules. But I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's it's your painting, right? You can break all the rules if you want, but it's good to know those things so that you kind of have an idea of what you're doing and what makes a good composition and what colors look good next to each other and which ones don't and why things are happening and why do I have brown on my paper when I'm putting two colors together? Well, they're probably complementary colors, but if you don't know those things, it's okay too. You can just go for it. It's always fun to just go for things too. I like that. So this guy, I knew right when I started it how cute it was going to be. Like, look how cute this thing is turning out. So my original thought was this cute little bear cub that's peeking out over this, like a snowy mountain. That's what I thought this would be. And you'll see a little bit later in it that it really felt like it was missing something. And so then I'll talk about that in a minute. But so right now I'm just adding in those different elements, all the details with the alcohol ink markers and using my paintbrush to move that ink around where I want it to go. And using the Q-tips to take the ink off if I need it to come off. I love doing alcohol ink paintings. I I didn't know I was going to love it. I only started doing this. It's been like 3.5 months now. But I've been painting my whole life. So I'm not new to painting, and I'm not new to using these alcoholic markers either. I've been using them for a long time. But the alcohol ink in the bottles is new to me. And putting it all together like this is just, it just seemed like what I should do, like just an easy way to get the details in there. I don't know a lot of people doing it, but that's all right. Okay, so I'm putting in more details, putting those eyes. I feel like when you do animal portraits, if you can get the eyes right, then everything else is going to look great. So I do spend a lot of time on those fine details, the eyes, the nose. I try to really get those right with the highlights and you know, getting all the darks in there. I don't know. I just feel like that's important. But look how cute this guy's turning out. Uh, Baby polar bears are mostly yellow, so I think that's why this turned out so cute because it has all the yellow too. I don't know. I just think it's so cute. I think this would look so good in like a nursery or, I mean, really just anywhere. I have this for sale on my website, prints of this. And I actually printed one that's a 16 by 20 for a friend of mine and framed it. We framed it and she put it in her house, and it is so stunning. Like these look so good blown up. When I paint them, I do all of my paintings in 9 by 12s, but I have the capability of doing prints that are bigger. I can do 16 by 20 prints, and they look so good blown up. I can't even believe how great they look. Okay, so I went this far, and I was going to be done, and then I sent it to my daughter, and I was like, I feel like it's missing something. And she's like, Mom, it needs the other arm. And I was like, oh, wait, okay, you're right. So now I'm putting in the second arm. So I think it did need the other arm to make it look complete. But look how cute it's turning out. I can't even stand it. I just love looking at this one. I am just as surprised as everyone else with how cute they turn out and how good these are doing. When I started this, I never imagined that I would, first of all, be good at it. Like I feel like I'm pretty good at this. And I never imagined that I would be so obsessed. I mean, I have done so many paintings in the past like 3 months. It's unbelievable. I've done more painting in the past 3 months than I have in years and years and years. I did study painting in college, so and I have been painting my whole life, but not this much and not with this much excitement. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm excited about it. Yeah, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I've got a lot more to show you, so I hope you like and subscribe and all that stuff so we can, what, still do this together, I guess. I don't know. Once I'm an art teacher, so once school starts again, I'm not going to have as much time, but for now, I'm going to throw out as much stuff as I can. All right, this one's almost done. How cute, right? It's called Curious Cub. Thanks.